Chapter 2381, Way to Leave. Published by Divine Tao Library. Translator, Salavan and Rykov. Translation checker, Pew Pew Lasergun. Editor and proofreader, Leo of Zion Mountain and Dale Ligerkeys. What are your intentions here? Yang Kai eyed Sangda coldly. Do not be nervous, little brother. Sangda didn't seem guilty about attacking him at all and looked at Yang Kai with a cheerful gaze. This old master just wanted to give you a small test. There is no malice behind it. Is that some kind of bad joke? What kind of test would require sneak attacking someone? And using a spiritual energy blast no less. Yang Kai's stomach was full of grievances, but fortunately he was strong enough to take the attack. If it was someone else whose soul was not as strong as his, then they might be lying on the ground half dead by now. An injury to the soul was no small injury, so Sangda had immediately left a bad impression on Yang Kai. Because this old master needs someone with a strong soul. If this old master had not seen little brother deal with a cultivator at the same level as you so easily outside my door, then this old master would not have bothered to test you. Yang Kai coldly snorted. So, should I be feeling honored? From what he said, it seemed Sangda knew all about his fight with Yu Ping outside. Do not worry, little brother, listen first to this old master's story. Sangda reached out to comfort him. Yang Kai glared at him for a while, but he was helpless now. Since he was here to request this old man's services, he had no choice but to wait for that spirit purifying array to be fixed, even if he was unhappy with Sangda's approach. Only after Yang Kai sat down did Sangda put on a smile. This old master wishes to ask little brother, how long have you been trapped in this damned place? Yang Kai's heart suddenly jumped. This old fart couldn't have realized something, could he? Does he know that I'm new here? However, thinking back to how he said he had no lack of source crystals, there was no reason for him to attack him. Despite his inner turmoil, Yang Kai's expression remained unchanged during these thoughts and simply asked back, why do you need to know? Sangda smiled, if you do not wish to tell me, so be it. This old master has been trapped here for 900 years. Yang Kai sneered inwardly, thinking to himself that it would be good if he was trapped here until he died. Sangda sighed. 900 years ago, this old master was a third-order Dao Source Realm cultivator. 900 years later, this old master is still a third-order Dao Source Realm. My skill in artifact refining kept on improving in that time, but so what? Even if I can refine artifacts, I still can't leave. If I can't leave here, then I'll never be able to break through to the Emperor Realm. I will sooner or later die here. Yang Kai frowned. He had no idea what Sangda was saying this for, but he suppressed his urge to ask and just listened for now. No matter how long little brother has been trapped here, this old master only wishes to ask. Sangda's face suddenly turned serious, eyes brimming with light. Do you want to leave this place? Yang Kai was shaken. He stared at Sangda and asked, do you know how to get out of here? Sangda smiled, and instead of answering, he responded with a question, do I? Hey hey hey. This irritable answer filled Yang Kai's stomach full of grievances again. He couldn't want for anything more than to grab Sangda right here and now, then use a soul-searching technique to see what was going on inside his head. He originally planned to stay here for a while, then slowly search for a way out, but how could Yang Kai not be moved when he found a hint from Sangda? He pondered for a moment before asking, Grandmaster, honest people should not resort to insinuations. You say you know the way out, but I do not believe you. Several Emperor Realm Masters are still trapped on this island. If there was a way to leave, then would they still be here? They are them, and this old master is this old master. Do not mix the two up. Sangda curled his lip and said proudly, what's more, the method that this old master has discovered, an Emperor Realm would not be able to achieve it even if they knew about it. Yang Kai frowned. If even an Emperor Realm Master is unable to leave, how are you going to achieve it? Naturally, that is this old master's business. Sangda grunted a little impatiently. Since this old master has sought you, then take this as an opportunity. Whether you can grasp this opportunity or not will depend on your own ability. It seemed that Sangda was prone to shifting moods. Yang Kai was sure that he would definitely kill him to silence him if he refused his offer. Even though this old man was an artifact refiner, he was already a third-order Dao Source Realm cultivator 900 years ago. Sangda had raised his artifact refining level on Clear Sky Island over the years as well, so his strength must definitely not be weak. For him to reveal this information to Yang Kai here left him with only two options. Either cooperate with him or fight. If there really is an opportunity, then I will not let it pass, but how do I know if what you're saying is true? Yang Kai looked reluctant to believe him. At the very least, you should tell me how we can get out of here. Sangda smiled. Little brother is a cautious person. This old master likes working with cautious people. After a pause, he said, the key to leaving here is the solitary void sea. Yang Kai curled his lips at this answer, as it was essentially saying nothing at all. He had experienced just how big the solitary void sea was, and that was all he told him, so how was he supposed to confirm if it was true or not? Sangda continued, this old master will tell you honestly. This old master is not the only one who knows of this exit. 2 other people know. Who? Yang Kai raised a brow. The Clear Sky Island's Island Lord and the Pavilion Master of Ice Heart Pavilion. Sangda coldly snorted, these 2 are the strongest masters on Clear Sky Island. Yang Kai was stunned as he thought that Sangda would be the only one to know about this kind of secret information, but now it seemed that was not the case. The Clear Sky Island's Lord and Ice Heart Pavilion's master knew of it too. Yang Kai had heard about the Island Lord from Zhao Yi before and knew that this person was a third-order emperor. However, since he lived and cultivated on Clear Sky Island, he would be unable to bring out the peak of his strength. Even though Yang Kai was not too sure about the Ice Heart Pavilion's master, their situation should obviously be about the same as the Island Lord. In other words, both of them should be peak Emperor Realm Masters, but were unable to bring out their full strength now. Since they know, then why don't they leave? With their ability, there shouldn't be anywhere they can't go, right? Yang Kai wondered. Anywhere they can't go? Sangda scoffed at Yang Kai's words, that is not necessarily the case. If it were the outside, then such strong cultivation would indeed allow one to roam the world freely, but this is the solitary void-sealed world. If the 2 of them dared to stay outside for long enough, they would still be courting death. Because they would be unable to replenish their strength. Yang Kai suddenly understood. Exactly. Sangda nodded. How vast is the solitary void sea? Once those 2 masters exhaust their Emperor Qi, they would not even be able to fly. Once they run out of Qi, they will not be able to replenish it in the solitary void-sealed world. Even with their peerless strength and cultivation, they would still be met with a dead end. The solitary void-sealed world was filled with disruption force, so no cultivator will be able to absorb any world energy around them. If the sea remained calm, then it would be no big deal to stop and find a place to set up a spirit purifying array and use source crystals and spirit pills to help slowly recover, then continue going forward. However, from his journey here, Yang Kai got to know that there were countless waterspouts all over the sea. Those waterspouts were extremely strong, so there was simply no place for anyone to restore themselves in peace. And, the deeper one went, the more waterspouts appeared, and the more terrifying their siphoning power became. A third-order Emperor Realm Master might seem powerful, but without their Emperor Qi, even they would not be able to defend against the waterspouts. Upon hearing this, Yang Kai mostly believed what Sangda said as it was very reasonable, so he could not help but believe it. Then, can you tell me the exact location of the exit? Yang Kai held back his excitement and asked in a seemingly casual manner. Even if a third-order Emperor Realm Master couldn't do it, that may not necessarily be the case for Yang Kai as he had the sealed world bead. If he ran out of strength along the way, he could just hide inside the sealed world bead and continue forward after he had restored himself. The only thing he had to worry about was how powerful those waterspouts along the way were going to be. If they were too strong, then he wouldn't be able to get out either. But it would certainly not be wrong for him to first find out the location of the exit. I can't tell you that. Sangda refused. Yang Kai quickly remarked, aren't you being insincere, Grandmaster? You asked to cooperate with me, but you won't share any useful information. If you can't tell me anything, how can I trust only your side of the story? Sangda smiled, you can trust me or leave. He looked like he had Yang Kai firmly in his grasp, which made Yang Kai helpless despite the itching grievance he was feeling. After thinking for a while, Yang Kai asked, I don't understand. What does the matter of leaving here have anything to do with cooperating with you, Grandmaster? Sangda replied, to get out, one must not only know the location of the exit, but also need the appropriate tools, is that not so? You weren't thinking of flying all the way there, were you? Yang Kai frowned slightly, you don't even have the necessary tools to leave. Sangda said, now I don't, but I know where to obtain them. The required item is not with this old master, and several people have to work together in order to retrieve it. That is why this old master is asking you to cooperate. Yang Kai said thoughtfully, does obtaining that item have something to do with having strong spiritual energy? Sangda smiled and nodded, exactly. The fact that you were able to resist 70% of this old master's spiritual energy in such haste is remarkable. That proves that even if your soul cultivation is not stronger than this old master's, it is not far behind. If that wasn't the case, why would this old master even be talking with you now? He had an arrogant look on his face, as if it was a great accomplishment for Yang Kai to have resisted an attack containing 70% of his spiritual energy. However, Sangda had no idea that Yang Kai had only used 20% of his own spiritual energy. If he had not been afraid of hurting this old fart, Yang Kai would have shown him what a truly strong soul could do. Then Sangda would not be acting like an arrogant frog at the bottom of the well, overestimating his own strength. Yang Kai wondered, since you know where this so-called item is, why are you still here? Sangda grumbled, naturally, it was my master who refined that thing. With this old master's ability alone, I am still unable to refine such a thing. Yang Kai's body shook. If Sangda, who was said to have touched the Emperor Artifact Refiner level, was still unable to refine this item, didn't that mean that his master was a genuine Emperor Artifact Refiner? An Emperor Artifact Refiner actually exists on this solitary void-sealed world. And it seems like no one knows about him. Yang Kai thought in surprise. Sangda seemed to be able to see Yang Kai's suspicions and explained, my master does not live on Clear Sky City, and he also never revealed his artifact refining skills to anyone, so nobody knows about him. Since this item belongs to your master, will he not have any problems about you taking it? Yang Kai asked with a sneer. Sure enough, this Sangda was a bad nut, even daring to have ideas about his master's belongings. Who knew which blind master had actually accepted such an unfilial disciple? If it were Yang Kai, he would have cleaned house long ago and not have allowed Sangda to live until now.